San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee held a press event on Thursday to address the Asian community in the city. Lee talked on the importance of promoting business within the city and mentioned his plans to visit China in April and again later in the year for talks of making a better connection between the country and San Francisco.
The China SF program has been quite successful in gaining a lot more relationships, and they know we're interested in doing things both ways. For example, a few weeks ago, I had a meeting with the solar companies that are already located here in San Francisco, and we're entering into a lot of good ideas about how they can increase their presence.
He also mentioned the Chinese New Year Parade and Festival, which will be held on Saturday, February 23rd.
And as we celebrate the Chinese New Year's with the parade, which I expect because of the weather predictions, we'll have 1 million people come in, and it'll be a very exciting year of the serpent or the mini dragon.
Mayor Lee answered questions, including those on the subject of the city's real estate market and development plans.
There are a number of different properties that I know about. I'm not privy to talk about them, but they're being invested in by Chinese, both individuals and corporations. And so my job is to get as much of it as I can for San Francisco.
Lee was very positive about Chinese investment in the city and hopeful for the future. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. The Asian Art Museum of San Francisco at 200 Larkin Street is opening their exhibit, China's Terracotta Warriors.
Should be interesting. We went there once before on the free showing.
Yeah, the first Sunday free day we go sometimes.
Yes, I would like to see it. I was just thinking about it when I was walking down the street. So.
Okay, great. So what do you know about it?
I know that there were many of them unearthed in China. I don't know how many, like in my memory I think it's like hundreds, right? And it's pretty exciting to see them over there. So.
The exhibit will showcase 10 statues from the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, and it will open from February 22nd until May 27th. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.
There will be a Chinese New Year Lantern Festival and riddle guessing on Saturday, February 23rd at 6:30 p.m. at 10931 Maxine Avenue, Cupertino. There will be food, drinks, singing, and socializing. We invite you all to attend.
Under California Governor Jerry Brown's proposed overhaul of school funding, many Bay Area school districts could see their revenues from the state increase by up to 7.3% next year. The list of projected revenue increases included more than 1,000 school districts based on year-old enrollment and finance data and estimates of needy students. Governor Brown's plan is to narrow revenue gaps among similar districts but benefit those with hard-to-educate students over the next 7 years. Despite the balancing calculus, school districts serving privileged children will almost certainly continue to receive the most funding. Brown's proposal must be adopted by the legislature before going into effect, and schools have already begun lobbying for and against it. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.
The recent reunited American boy band 98 Degrees announced the dates of their new album on February 20th. This new record, titled 2.0, will meet the fans on May 7th. This is also the band's first studio album since 2000. Band member Nick Lange said in a recent release that, "We are really excited to bring our friends new music and get out on the road." The band has announced their reunion back on August 2012 when they first performed on a live TV show in more than 10 years. The boys will also hit the road, joining 2 other boy bands, New Kids on the Block and Boys II Men, this summer in a tour called the Package Tour. 98 Degrees, consisting of brothers Nick Lange and Drew Lange, Jeff Timmons, and Justin Jeffrey, is one of the most famous boy bands in America in the late 90s. The band, releasing 3 studio albums, 1 Christmas album before the hiatus in 2002, has sold over 10 million records worldwide, with 8 top 40 singles in the US, including the most favored Because of You and I Do. This is Justin Jia.
After 4 years of waiting for Major League Baseball to decide whether or not the Oakland A's can move to downtown San Jose over the San Francisco Giants' territorial objections, city leaders are still being kept in the dark. Reports came in Thursday that the MLB has given the A's guidelines for satisfying concerns about the San Jose move. The Athletics have been seeking a new home off and on since the late 1970s under various owners, saying that poor attendance makes the club dependent on revenue-sharing subsidies from other teams. After failed attempts at new ballpark projects in Oakland and Fremont, the A's sought permission in 2009 to move to San Jose. Ibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.